Hello and good morning. It's another Monday. I'm sat at my desk today because it's so hot to sit in any other room in the house. It is so hot today. I'm going to check the temperature. Yesterday it was 31 degrees. I know if you're international watching this, if you're anywhere outside the UK, that sounds manageable. It doesn't sound like it would be that bad, but it really is here. Like, our houses are just built to trap the heat in. And I took medication a few years ago that made me quite photosensitive, and even though I'm off it now, every summer I do have a bit of a reaction to the sun. So, we are just hoping things don't go awful this summer. I'm going to show you the book that I'm currently reading, and that is Enough by Dawn French. Now, this is about a woman who at 68 decides that she's ready to end her life. She's perfectly happy, she's not depressed. This is the premise so far. And she decides to go watch this beautiful sunrise with her family. She has them all come and stay at her house, which she's lived in for years, and they all holiday there, they go there. And she tells them, I would like to end my life. And I'm planning on doing it by the end of today. And so far we're sort of just getting little vignettes of her life growing up, and who made her the woman that she is, and also of her family trying to digest this information and decide what they think about it. And it is really complex, and I'm interested in seeing where it goes. I'm selling it sounds really quite depressing, but it's not. It's something else entirely. It's quite warm. It's funny. It's like typical Dawn French. Like, she can handle really quite difficult things. There was an amazing, if you haven't read any of her books, read her last one. I'm struggling to remember the title now, but I will get it up. So her last book was called Because of You, and Because of You was fantastic. I put her in the same category as Graham Norton, in that they are, they're technically celebrity novels, but they are not at all. Like, they are very dedicated to really good storytelling, and I just think both of them really fantastic. So that's my opinion. I will update you, of course, next week when I finished it. I also bought the other day, I had £10 on my Waterstones card, which I haven't used in a while because we've got so many really nice, gorgeous independent bookshops around Cardiff. There's a great one on Chris Road that I talk about all the time in Cathays, called Bookspace. There's Griffin, the one in Penarth, really nice. And of course, you've got Troutmark, in one of the is it Castle Arcade? There's so many arcades, I never know which one's which. In town, my favourite is Wellfield Books on Wellfield Road in Roath. Absolute favourite. Love. Anyway, I had £10 on my Waterstones card, and it was about to expire, so I bought Will Hayward's Who Cares About Wales. If you've read anything by Will Hayward, in terms of his journalism, he's really fantastic. He has a podcast called For Wales, See Wales, and it's basically just talking about politics and political news in Wales from a Welsh perspective. You also have two comedians on the podcast, Robin Morgan and Mel Owens, and they just talk about what's happened that week. Really good. I really recommend. They do live shows and stuff as well. They travel Wales doing them. Great endorsement from Carol Vorderman on the back as well, so what's not to love? I'm looking forward to reading this. I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a big read. I think it's quite nice paper though, so yeah, it's only 350-ish pages, but it just feels bigger because it's printed on very nice paper. It feels very good quality. What have I read? So, I don't know if you can hear the cats screaming. The last book I read was Clown Town by Mick Herron. This is the latest Slough House novel. So if you've watched Slow Horses on Apple TV, you'll be very familiar with them. Of course, they're a book series first. I got into reading them after watching the TV show. Really, really love them. Really enjoy them. Essentially, this whole book centres around Diana Taverner really getting herself in another pickle. And that's sort of the theme when you read them for Diana. She is formidable, but there are certainly a lot of chickens waiting to come home to roost, and they sort of do in this book. The way it ends, there's a certain level of ambiguity about what's going to happen next, and I am looking forward to the next novel to find out what happened. I'm assuming that will be next year, or hopefully next year. And of course, you know, Jackson Lamb comes in to save the day at the end. But it's really quite a spectacular conclusion. It's not what I expected. We've also got other returning, not villains, but villains. Peter Judd, the politician, former politician. To be honest, it's interesting because you see so many layers of actual British politicians in all these characters that they are obviously based on. And then we sort of talk about the Prime Minister and the previous Prime Minister, not by name, which is also really interesting because you know exactly who they're talking about because of how, you know, quite explicit it is. And this one is very much set in the present day. It is a new Prime Minister who is, you know, a former human rights lawyer. He's definitely, you know, a pretty obvious stand-in for Keir Starmer, and we can tell that. Yeah, really fab. Don't want to say too much because I'm really cautious about ruining any aspect of this, because obviously with a you know, spy thrillers like this, there are lots of little important things that happen that it's fun. It's almost not realising how significant they're going to be as you carry on reading. So I don't want to mention them and sort of like flag any up to people as they're reading it. Just take my review for what it is, and it is fantastic. I also read The Cat Who Ate Danish Modern by Lilian Jackson Braun, and again, this is written and set in the 1960s. It's about a journalist who, every beat he works, he ends up investigating crime, but that's where he wants to be. That's what he used to do before he moved to this small town, because he had to have well, it's not a small town, it's a city, but because he got divorced, and, you know, now he's sort of working on beats that he doesn't want to be. The first book, it was art. The second one, this one, he sort of gets roped into the running the interior design magazine. It's like a new weekend supplement because the newspaper is beginning to print things in full colour, and it's really, really fun. Some of the language I was a little bit shocked by, but it is from the 60s. The thing I found perhaps quite jarring is that it's not used in a malicious way. I mean, I won't say, you can imagine some of the, especially the racial descriptions of characters, are certainly not what we would use nowadays, but they are not used in a way that is intentionally cruel. It really is just an indicator of, you know, common language use, common parlance at the time. It's not the most comfortable thing to read, but otherwise the book was pretty good. It doesn't lean into stereotypes too hard in terms of racial stereotypes. It really is just the language. I'm not sure really where that's come from, but, you know, it is from the 60s. Otherwise, I thought it was fun. It was quite light-hearted. There's as light-hearted as murder can be in, you know, in a mystery. There's a certain level of coziness to these, in that they're, you know, they're not there to shock you, but it was a sweet, fun read regardless. And that's it for me, to be honest. I booked Friday off last week, and then Monday was a bank holiday, and then I booked Tuesday and Wednesday. So today's Tuesday, so I've got today and tomorrow off, and I'm really just trying to make the most of it with, make the most of today by chilling. I did some DIY the other day, painted some of the walls just for like, you know, over time where you get little scuffs. It was really hard to find a paint that matched our walls because it's a Dulux trade paint. But I found the, in B&Q, the Good Home Wall and Ceiling White. I think it's Arctic White I bought in the end. Is a really, really good match. It's perfect. Like, you cannot see where the paint is. At first you could, and I thought, okay, well, it'll dull with time anyway, so it'll probably blend in. But once it had fully dried, it looks perfect. There is no indication that, it's not the same shade, so that was really good. We went to Penarth on Friday. That was really nice because we walked to Lilian station. So obviously I've been out in the sun a little bit, so it's no wonder I've got a little bit of a reaction on my face. Just need to cover up, use that SPF, have breaks from the sun, so won't be going out today. And I am really good at sun protection, but who knows? Hopefully it all clears up. Yeah, I also, I'm going to show you. So this is where I put my notes for when I'm making these. And I lost the pen for my Remarkable tablet. So I have the Remarkable 2. Really like it, really like typing on it. I've got the Typefolio case, which I'll show you just so you know what I mean. So you can sort of flip it. It's got a little case. You can type on it. I got mine refurbished. I heard loads of good things about their refurbished models, and it was fantastic condition. Looked like it had never been touched. I lost the pen. I don't know what I've done with it, but I've completely lost it. So I bought this cheap replacement one on Amazon, which actually has the eraser on the top, like the Pro pen does. So I just had the basic one. I didn't have the Pro. This is a much nicer pen to use than the one that actually came with the device, which is a little bit disappointing because it shouldn't be. You know, the one that comes with the device is a lot more expensive. This was probably about £25. Genuinely really good. Really, I prefer writing with this than I do to using the actual pen. What I'm going to be interested in is whether the tips are, I've got the proper pack of the tips on the shelf, whether they're actually the same. But I suppose time will tell with that. I think I'm going to do a little bit of writing this afternoon and then maybe do some exam practice for my Welsh exam, which I will do on here. I'll fill out some like past exam papers and then send them over to my tutors, maybe do some listening to the listening task and fill that out, and maybe also the speaking one, just sort of practice some of the things I'll need to form questions and sentences. And that's it. That is the non-excitement of my Tuesday. Back in work on Thursday, and I'm going to be in Tenby, which is gorge. Well, what a nice time of year to be in Tenby. So, yeah, that's all of the excitement I have because, unfortunately, I'm not going out today, so I'm probably not going to have anything else filmed that is fun to show you. I just wanted to check in because it's been a while. So that's what I've been reading. I'm currently 5 books ahead of schedule for my reading goal for the year, which is a book a week. So let me know what you've been reading. Let me know if you've read anything that I've talked about or anything that I'm planning to read. Hello. And yeah, have a good week. Bye.